when time is limited, priorities become clearer and excuses disappear. On today's episode, we examine the Nepali education system under the lens of the interim government, with the help of the current education minister, Dr. Mahabir Pun. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Serving an interim government means that you don't have as much time as other ministers would have had. While they have years to act and cause impact, you only have months. Could you tell us a bit about how you choose to have impact on the education system as a minister with such short time that you have now?
Yeah, it's a short time. All of you know, a short time for 6 months. And to do something, we just have about less than 5 months, because when the election procedure starts, we don't have much things to do because of the restriction the government imposes for the election, and we have short time, and we have also limited resources.
Yes.
As well as we have less power than the ministers, former ministers had.
Yes.
Because and one more thing, and the experience. I never had any experience of running any ministry before, so within this framework, I had to learn first by myself.
Yes.
How the ministry, everything in a ministry works. It took time for me to learn how it works first. Then, in the remaining time, after I learned the procedure to run the ministry, so I started thinking about what I can do, because it is obvious that in this short time with limited resources and a limited power, I am not going to do anything big changes.
Yes.
I cannot. So, I thought about what we can do in this short time with limited resources. So that is why I focus on in three things. First, how to improve the education system, how to improve these vocational training programs, how to improve the school education system, as well as how to bring some changes in the university system.
Yes.
So my focus was in three areas: vocational training programs run by CTVT, and another thing is school program, especially up to high school education, and then university education program. To bring significant changes in any system, we need to have law. We need to follow the law, and the difficulty thing is we cannot change the law. This interim government cannot change the law.
I agree.
So we have to follow the law of the government and bring some changes.
Yes. It's a very difficult task.
Especially, we have to fight with all these problems with this existing law and existing resources, because this government cannot bring new budget. Whatever budget they had announced before we came to the government, we had to follow that one, and that budget was cut to, to get money to run the elections also, because to run the election there was no budget. So we had to, from all these ministries, we had to, create budget to run the election. So what I have been telling, I told this when I took the oath of office the first day. I told them that I cannot promise to bring any significant changes. I will do whatever I can do in my capacity. That's what I told. So people are expecting me to bring, huge and significant changes in the education system. In the education system, that was running for the last 35 years. How can I bring any significant changes in very short time, less than 5 months? So that's the problem, and but we are trying our best.
One of the major problems in the education system currently, pointed out by the general public, is the politicization, especially in university levels. There's a lot of political groups. Teachers take sides of political parties. What do you think that we should prevent this from occurring in the education system? For example, in countries like the UK, teachers are not allowed to state any political opinions of their own. Do you think it would be a good decision for Nepal to integrate such a rule in our education, preventing teachers from creating political opinions among students and promoting political activism at the university level and even high school level?
Not only university and high school level, it is in the CTBT system as well. There is a political interferences which was created in the last 35 years. So the educational institutions have been a kind of playground for the political leaders to, to bring their supporters, bring their cadres and the systems. So it is difficult, and there is already rules the government had and to stop, to limit the teachers from doing politics in the education system. It already exists there. We don't have to bring any new law.
Yes.
But the problem is nobody follows it. There is a law there. There is a rule there telling that teachers cannot participate in any political activities. They cannot do any political activities in the school. But nobody is following, and no government is taking action to those teachers who are interfering in the political educational environment.
Yes.
At the university level, school level, and vocational training programs as well. So I tried. What we can do at this situation is, we can tell them not to be involved in the politics. We can tell them that because of this law, such and such law, you are not allowed to, participate in the politics, and as well as in any political campaign. We can tell that, citing the laws that already exist.
Yes.
But nobody obeys. And the thing is, they are the thing they are not, obeying the rules and the laws is because they have protection from the political leaders. It is the political leaders who are to blame for using the teachers in the political activities, in the politics, which is very, very bad. And I have seen that until and unless we stop this in time, it is, the system, the education system in Nepal will be paralyzed, will not be able to work effectively. So that is why I am trying my best, what I can do in the long term. In short term, we cannot do much. In the long term, what we can do to, I cannot say stop, but at least minimize these teachers, those people are the teachers and the staff, employees, and even students. The students are, also in politics, especially in the universities and even in the schools also. How to control them, how to minimize their political interference. So it will take time. It is not going to happen overnight. And the political leaders of the political parties first have to take initiative.
I agree. Another issue with the education system that has been pointed out by the general public is the privatization of education. As you know, government schools may sometimes be considered as less educational, less significant for societal positions than a private school. A school with international affiliation, like the British College, for example, might be chosen more likely than a government school simply because you would have a better a status in society going to a school with foreign education or just private education in general. Do you think it is a good idea for our country to be so heavily invested in private education?
Not all these, public schools are, bad.
Yes,
There are public schools that are running the school system very well, and they are providing education better than the private schools, some of the private schools as well. But the number of the schools, public schools that are running them are very few, not many. So the reason why the private school are flourishing, the private school are doing better than the public schools is one of the reason is the politics, like I said. The government is not running the public school efficiently because of the political interferences at the school system. Because of that, the teachers, most of the teachers, many of the teachers in the public schools are not doing their job, well. So that is why the students are not getting, quality education in public schools. The reason why the parents are, taking their students and their children to the private school is because they think that, their children would get better education at the private schools, which is not true always. Some are providing better education in the private schools also, but not all the private schools are providing better education for the children, in the private schools. most of the private schools, with some exception, are run by the private to make money. That's the reason.
Yes.
They didn't start the school, the private schools, many of them, not to provide better education for children, but to make money.
It's basically a business.
As a business.
Yes.
So when you do business, you need some profit as well. Without profit, nobody will do any business. So that's what the situation of the private schools are at the moment. And some of the private schools are, doing good jobs there. But the problem is those private schools that are providing better educations are very expensive.
Yes, I agree.
Ordinary people cannot afford to, send their, children to those expensive private schools.
And yet there's
It is
social
for
pressure.
those. It is for those. The good private schools are for those, those parents who are well enough, who have income.
Yes.
So, but other private schools who are running across the country, that are less expensive, are because they are started for business purpose, especially I would say to make their living, because there is no job. There are so many graduates,
Yes.
in Nepal, and they don't have good job opportunities. So when they don't get good opportunities, to make money, then starting a private school has been a trend for the last, I would say, 30 years.
Yes.
For the last 30 years, that has been a trend.
Yes.
They started the private schools not because they had enough budget or they have enough resources to do that, not because they had resources to hire qualified teachers to run a private school very well. The reason is because they didn't have any choice. So that's why the private schools, that's the problem of the private schools as well, because they cannot hire good teachers. They cannot charge a high tuition fee to the students as well. When you cannot hire, charge high tuition fee to the students, you cannot hire good teachers.
Yes.
So that is the reason the private schools are not, doing. Most of the private schools are not doing that good as well, and teachers they are hiring are not well qualified as well. And the only attraction that the parents have to send their children to the private schools is because in private schools they teach in English medium. The parents think that if their children can learn in English language, they think that they would get better education.
Which actually
But the
brings me to
language
another
is-
question.
What did you say?
There's another important question I need to ask you with regards to education and emphasis on English-based curriculum in schools. I went to St. Mary's, which is an English-based school, and we had a rule, which I'm sure many of the other schools in our country have now. You cannot speak in Nepali. To promote better English-speaking skills, you have to speak in English. And if anyone was caught speaking in Nepali, it wouldn't be just standing outside the classroom, sort of punishment. We would have to pay a fine of 100 rupees for speaking in Nepali. What are your opinions on rules like this in the education system right now?
Yeah, that's the expectation of the, like I said, the expectation of the assumption, I would say, the assumption of the parents who are sending their children to English-speaking boarding schools or private school is that, they teach very well there. Not all the boarding school they teach well there. They provide quality education, and the reason is because just being a boarding school, their teachers are not qualified enough. And another thing is, like you said, they require you to speak English, only English, in the school. It's because the people, all the people, population, general population, think that speaking English makes you smarter, which is not good.
Yes.
It is not true. Just because you speak English, you are not smart.
Yes.
Right? So that is why, that is because of that, assumption that speaking English in the school or in the public places, or learning something in English makes you smarter, is not true. So this kind of practices that are going around in the school system, private school system, is in Nepal, is not, is especially the assumption of the parents, which is not true. So that is why, that's the reason. That is the reason the private school flourished so rapidly in the last 30 years.
Yes.
And helping creating the environment to flourish private schools all over Nepal is the interest of the political leaders as well. Is because many of the political leaders I have seen around across Nepal, that many of the political leaders, well-known political leaders or leaders, have started their own private school as well. It's their interest as well. Because of that, the public schools are getting less priority. They are getting less attention from the government side, and because of that, the public schools are not running well, and that's why the private schools flourish so rapidly across Nepal.
Upon a quick Google search, we can find that there are over 35,000 public government schools in our country. That means 7 million students and about 200,000 teachers under the government. However, our country spends well over 0.5 of our GDP on research, and this is far from the 1% target that we used to have set and you have advocated for. With regards to this, do you think that there are any changes you can make with research on education and improving government education overall with the current GDP we have?
That's possible if the political leaders have courage to do that. Have guts to do that, what I say. Because no political leaders in Nepal so far have any idea how important research and innovation is. At the school level, at the university level, they have no idea. I have been telling this for so many years, because the government, the political leaders, and because the political parties who run the government have no idea. Not only the political leaders, no bureaucrats at the high level in Nepal have any idea how important research and innovation is.
Yes.
Not only to provide quality education, but to create economy of a country. Without research and innovation, without investing money in research and innovation in science and technology, no country can create economy.
Yes.
But it seems that nobody has understood it.
Yes.
And while I am here for short time, and I talk with these, bureaucrats, I talk with these, the ministers, they still don't have that idea. That is why it is very difficult to, to improve the economy. It has been very difficult to improve the economy of the country, and it will not be developed. The economy will not develop until and unless we bring a government that gives the highest priority for research, for introducing research and innovation in every school system, like in the CTVT program, vocational training program also.
Yes.
There are people, students who are innovative, who are creative at the vocational education system as well. There are creative and innovative students in the school system as well, and the university system. But to do that, there is nothing. They have created nothing to nurture the creativity of the students. So it is very important, but it doesn't look like we are going to get those the kind of leadership in a government as long as we don't get that, and it doesn't look like it will happen soon.
Yes.
That is why I have been telling young people, I have been telling all the people of Nepal that if we want to create economy of a country, we need to bring the political leaders, especially the prime ministers and the ministers, and we need to train the bureaucrats as well to make them understand that how important science and technology, research and innovation is for the economic development of the country.
Yes.
And I have seen no hope. That is why I have been always telling we need to bring young people in the leadership. We need to bring, without bringing young leadership in the government, it is not going to happen. All these political parties, traditional political parties, all these old political leaders, it is very difficult to to make them learn about the importance of science and technology. That's very bad for Nepal.
Another point I would like to add with the advantages of research projects in Nepal in our education is the fact that our country seems to like imitating the other countries' research findings. However, anyone with a good background in science will know that generalization from a research results. The external validity of a research comes from the sample. And without doing research in Nepal, under Nepal's circumstances, with the variables considering Nepali people, any research that we do abroad or imitate from abroad cannot fully understand or rather capture everything that we need in Nepal to develop. So even if we don't have research in our country, and we assume just by going abroad, going to countries like the UK, America, Australia to research on Nepal, we won't have the exact data we would need. That's why I believe that as a Gen Z myself, as someone who is young in our country, we need more opportunities for research, not just for innovation, like you have said, but also to get research that authentically shows the results, the data that represents Nepal as a whole. Do you agree, sir?
Yes, to some extent. Just it is good to imitate the research also, the research of other countries as well. And we have to learn from the experiences of the other countries as well. And it is okay. It is okay, to do the research and innovation the way the other countries are doing. But research is one thing. Research is finding some ideas. Research is creating some ideas. It will create some ideas, some theory, some some principles. Yes. But what has been happening in Nepal? There are so many researches that have been done in Nepal. Nepali scholars, researchers, and foreign researchers. They have been done so many researches in paper.
Yes.
But the fact is, just doing the research in paper, just the getting information from the research of these Nepali scholars or researchers or foreign researchers, just getting the data, just reading the research paper and creating some new ideas is not enough.
Yes.
We have universities here, in many universities.
Yes.
And there are so many academic, what I call academic researches. So many academic researches have been published, but the bad thing is, the sad thing is that whatever finding the researchers bring, it has not been applied in the practical way. So applied research. After the research, academic research, we have to find ways to use that the finding of the research to the field. That's what is called applied research.
Yes.
So nobody has given any interest in applying the findings of the academic research into the applied research, and that's the reason nothing has been developed.
Yes.
Nothing has been created. Because without applied research, nothing will be created.
Yes.
For example, no commercial products will be created. Without creating commercial products and marketing in the society, economy will not be created. So that's the huge gap in Nepal. Academic researches, a lot of academic researches are being done. They have already been done, and all these academic researches are in the book only, and nobody has tried to apply the finding of the resources in the applied field. So that is why I have been telling that it is very important to give the priority and applied researches as well, research and innovation.
Yes.
Because it is the applied research and innovation that helps to create economy.
I agree.
The academic researches only doesn't help anything to create the economy.
Yes.
It is a research, the research, brings some ideas. Research finds some new ideas, new theories, but it doesn't create the product. If we don't apply the findings of the academic research in the ground, it will be just stay on the paper.
Yes. I believe that this is actually the consequence of the content and the type of education you're providing the youths of our country, the children, the students.
Yes, book,
for example-
learning from the books.
Yes.
What would the type of education we are providing to the students is just learning from the books.
By learning.
Rote memorization, what they call it. Rote memorization.
Yes.
And they memorize it, write something on the paper, and the graduate from the school or from the university. That's not enough. That is why, as a minister, or before I became a minister, I have been always focusing on the importance that focusing on, convince the public as well as the political leaders and the bureaucrats of the government, higher level bureaucrats of the government, how important it is, what we need to do, to apply the finding of the research to create the economy. That's my focus. That was my focus, and it will be my focus always. And after my term will end after 6 months, so I will be involved again in the research and innovation in my coming days as well.
Yes. A lot of students in our country are going to study abroad, particularly because of the lack of critical analysis in the studies that we have here at home. You yourself went to the University of Nebraska, I believe, to pursue your higher education. What would you say to students who are currently thinking of going to study abroad instead of staying in Nepal? Would you advise them to stay in Nepal and study at one of the universities here?
I have been always telling that it is upon you to decide whether you stay and study in Nepal or whether you go to abroad and study there. It is okay, wherever you want or wherever you can afford also.
Yes.
If you cannot afford, you cannot go to study abroad. You have to afford to study abroad. So it is okay to study in Nepal or study abroad. And but the fact is, or the truth is, the reason why the students choose to go to study abroad is not only the economic reason. I mean, it's not because they have, they get good opportunities or good education abroad. The education system abroad is, there are some differences, but somewhat similar. In colleges, at the universities, and the schools in foreign countries, they also teach from the textbook. They also give assignment. They also take exams of students. It's similar. They give more
resources.
The difference is they provide some project works.
Opportunities.
Especially. I mean, different environment to learn. They get that, which is different from here. But the main reason why the students go and choose to go to study abroad is not because they cannot get better education here, but because they think that after they go and study abroad, they will have better opportunities to get jobs there
Yes.
in foreign countries.
Yes.
All of us know, all the parents, all the students know that if they study in Nepal and graduate from the university in Nepal, it is less likely to get good jobs in Nepal or job opportunities in Nepal.
Yes.
Even if they get some jobs somehow, if they get some jobs, the salary they get in Nepal is very little.
Yes.
So because of that, the students and the parents especially, the parents wants to send their children to the schools abroad is because they think that their children will get better, much better opportunities than here in Nepal to get jobs after they graduate from the school.
Yes.
That is why most of the students who go abroad to study, except with some exception, some come back. I mean, not all of them stay in foreign countries. Some come back, but most of them stay abroad is because they have better job opportunities there.
Yes.
Because they know that there is very little chance to get jobs in Nepal. That's why the students choose to go to abroad. I have seen Chinese students. When I was studying there and when I go around, I see Chinese students all over the world in the universities. But what I have found was the Chinese students, many of those Chinese students, after they get their college degree, their education abroad, they go back. Because I have talked to them also. I asked them whether you are planning. I asked them whether you are planning to go back after you graduate, and they say, of course I will go back. I have seen Korean students, I have seen Japanese students who are going to study abroad. I have talked to many of them and asked them if they are planning to go back, and they said, of course they will go back.
That's interesting.
The reason why they go back to their home country is because they know that they will get some kind of jobs in their country. Why Nepalese students are not coming back? Is because they know that there is no job opportunities here. The parents, encourage them to stay there and do something, find something, whatever possible.
Yes.
That's the reason. So, I'm just blaming the students and the parents for sending their children to the foreign countries is not enough. We have to create job opportunities in Nepal to bring back those students who go to study abroad. Unless and until we do that, it is okay. That's why I always advise students. I always advise young people to do whatever they want to do. If they want to stay, if they want to go abroad and study there and stay there, it's okay. If they want to come back and they work in a struggle, they have to struggle so much to find job opportunities in Nepal. It's okay. If whatever they want to, they can choose it. That's the advice I always give to the students there. And to bring those students back, it's not only the students. We have 3-4 million people of Nepal working as a manual labor in Gulf countries, in Malaysia, in all over the world. So why they are going to work abroad? It's because they don't have job opportunities here.
Would
So-
you say that it is the education ministry's job to help create job opportunities for students just graduating from university and high school? Or is
Edu-
it
Education ministry cannot create job opportunities, you know.
so the
You know,
question
education
remains,
ministry, can try to provide good education as far as it is possible to the students. That's the role of the education ministry. Creating job opportunities in Nepal is, you know, the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Industries,
yes.
you know, they have to create environment. They have to create situation in Nepal to create job opportunities for the people.
Could you elaborate a bit on how we could achieve this?
It is not that difficult to achieve the the goal of creating job opportunities, more and more job opportunities in Nepal. People think that it is very difficult. I think it is difficult, of course, but it is not that difficult. We have to change our mindset here. And we have to, realize that to create job opportunities in Nepal, we need to have produce business entrepreneurs. We need to produce as many entrepreneurs as possible
Yes.
from the university level.
Yes.
Those students who are studying at the universities are not only students, anybody who have, business mind, who have innovative ideas, who have creative ideas. We have to nurture them. That's the thing we have to do.
Yes.
We have to nurture the innovative, creative people. We have to nurture these people with business mind who have some business ideas. The government has to create such an environment to nurture them. But no government so far has done that. No government so far has done that. If I become Prime Minister, I will create that environment. I will that kind of environment. It will take time for sure,
Yes, of course.
but I will start that to create the environment that will create job opportunities, to create the environment that will, that will, produce, entrepreneurs, business entrepreneurs. So to do that, it will take some money, but not that much. Within this budget limit of the government, it is possible to do that as well. We have to start.
Yes.
And slowly, maybe it will take 10 years, maybe it will take 15 years, not more than that, right?
Yes.
It is possible, and I can do it.
Yes.
And I am asking the political leaders, the government, the bureaucrats to do that as well. But nobody is listening me. And I am here for a short time, and I cannot do that in this short time with the with my capacity right now. So I have been telling, and I will not stop telling what I am telling to the people, that we have to create environment to nurture the innovative, creative, business-minded people to become entrepreneurs. Because it is the entrepreneurs, it is from the mind of the entrepreneurs, they will develop different kind of industries, they will bring different kind of ideas, industries, services, whatever, that will create job opportunities.
Yes.
And when we will be able to create job opportunities, those people will develop something, some products, commercial products, physical products or services, whatever. They will create it that will help to reduce the imports and will start creating some exports, products for export as well. And when we decrease the import, that will save, our money from going abroad.
Yes.
And that money can be utilized, create more job opportunities in Nepal. And that has not been happening. So first, like you said in the earlier, at the beginning, that we have to, government must, invest at least 1% of the GDP for research and innovation in Nepal.
Yes.
1% is not enough. But they are not even thinking about investing 0.1% of the GDP.
Yes.
I have not asked much. I have just asked the government to invest, to allocate 0.1, not 1, 0.1% of the GDP for research and innovation, and nobody is listening. And if we start investing 1% of the GDP, that will bring, lot of differences in a very short time.
Yes.
That will create a lot of business entrepreneurs if we invest 1%. But 1% is not enough. 1% of GDP is not enough. We have to, slowly we have to increase that, and we have to invest 1%, 1.5%, 2%, and up to 3%. If we invest up to 3% of our GDP for research and innovation, it will not take much time to make Nepal a prosperous country, a better country. And that will create enough job opportunities for all these Nepalese young people going to work abroad or leaving the country. 3%, which doesn't look like will happen anytime soon, as long as we have the leaders, political leaders of old mindset.
For my final question, I would like to ask, do you have any message you would like to give to the youth who are watching this interview today in Nepal and abroad?
I'll give that, but let me finish it. So, why I am telling that we need to invest at least 0.1% of GDP, and then slowly increase from 0.1 to 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, and 1%, and then slowly 2%, 3%. Why I am telling this? It is something for them, it looks like it is a strange thing I am telling them. But it is why I am telling this is because it is what all the developed countries are doing. All the developed countries are developed. Why? Because they invest on average around 3% of their GDP for research and innovation.
Yes.
America is doing that. All the developed European countries, UK, Germany, Denmark,
Yes.
all the other, Norway, all the other countries are doing that. Japan is doing that. China is, has, so far China has, invest around 2%, little bit more than 2% of their GDP for research and innovation. At the beginning, they didn't have that also. They were not doing that also. That now, very fast. China is increasing the percentage of their GDP for research and innovation. Korea is investing 4.5, more than 4.5% of their GDP. 4.5.
That is impressive.
And Israel is investing almost 5% of their GDP for research and innovation. Why Israel is so strong? It's because they spend 5% of their GDP for research and innovation. Why is Korea developing so fast and providing so many employment opportunities for the foreign nationals? It's because they invest more than 4.5% of their GDP.
Yes.
And all the developed country, on average, if we say in average, in America, all these European countries, they invest around 3%. So we have to learn, we have to realize that in order to be a developed countries, a prosperous countries, we have to increase the investment in research and innovation, and the investment should be around 3% of the GDP. But here in Nepal, I am talking about 0.1%. And when I say this to the prime ministers, to the finance ministers, to the secretaries of the ministries, they think that, how can we do this? It's very difficult. That's the mindset is working in Nepal so far, in our history of Nepal. That is why we have to bring new leadership that has that kind of, mindset. And until and unless we bring new leadership with the mindset to increase the investment in research and innovation, Nepal will not be a prosperous country. There will always be disturbances, like the movements, like we had Gen Z movements. Why we had Gen Z movements? We had so many other movements before in the short history. Why all these movements are being happening in Nepal is because people have no jobs. They have enough time, to be involved in the movements. They are not busy with their works, and they are desperate to get some job opportunities, some income for their living. When that, because that's not happening, the movements are frequently happening in Nepal, and it will happen in future as well. So we have to start. The point is, the end point is, we have to start from 1% of the GDP, but it is not going to happen. It doesn't look like it isn't going to happen anytime soon in Nepal. That is why, if I become a Prime Minister of Nepal, I will increase the investment in research and innovation from 0.1% to slowly, this year 0.1%, next year 0.2%, then next year 0.3%. I will take it to the level of 1%.
Yes.
So that is very important. That is something that should be the mantra of all the political leaders, all the world of Nepal, if they really want to make Nepal a prosperous country. Okay? So your last question was, what is my suggestion to the young people?
Yes.
As I have been always telling, think, use your mind, use your head to decide what you want to do. Don't rely upon the suggestions of other people. Doesn't matter whether it's your parents. The parents, your friends, your relatives will always, tell you what to do and what not to do. They always tell you. It is the tradition in our society. Don't listen others and don't follow others, suggestion and advices to become what you want to become. If you want to become what you want to become, use your mind.
Yes.
That is very important. Without using your mind and just relying upon the suggestions and guidance of other people, you will just be a ordinary man and live your life in an ordinary life.
Yes.
You are not going to be any, you are not going to be any, exceptional person. If you want to do something new, you are not going to be able to do something new unless and until you rely upon the suggestions and the guidance of other people.
Yes.
You just guide yourself, use your mind and move forward.
Yes.
That's all.
With that being said, now that we've come to the end of our episode, we would like to give you a small token of appreciation for all of your contributions.
That's not required, but if you want to give it, it's okay. I will take it, but I don't care about all this, token of love and anything. So it's okay.
At the front, you may find the words Ad Meliora written. In Latin, it means towards a better, brighter future.
Okay. It will stay in the ministry, okay?
Thank you, sir.